Hi friend, I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. My name is Erica. I'm your host. And before we jump into today's episode, I just have a quick, exciting announcement to make that I wanted to make sure everything was good to go with before I announced, but we are all good to go. Everything is booked. I'm really excited. So I'm going to be teaching a class at Premier San Antonio on September 28th. And I'm so excited, you guys. This is a big deal. And if you are looking to go to a conference and you're in Texas or you want to travel to one, I would absolutely love to see you there. The show is on September 28th and 29th in San Antonio, Texas. They have all kinds of education and brands. There's like the biggest brands in the industry are at these events. Aesthetics, hair, nails, lashes. They have a little mini lash con at this with a bunch of lash speakers. So it's going to be a great event. I would absolutely love to see you there and get to meet you and have some familiar faces in the crowd. So if you would like to come, I'm going to put all the information for that in the show notes. So that being said, this week I wanted to talk about fear in growing our businesses and the role it plays and, how we can overcome that. Because I feel like the thought I had this morning is like literally 6 a.m. while I'm recording this. But the thought I had this morning was like, immediately when I woke up, and I don't know why, it was the first thought on my mind, but it's like, why are we so damn scared to grow our businesses? We could do so many great things if we could just get past the fear of it and just freaking do it already. This can be whether it's like putting yourself out there on social media, like just doing it, right? Or applying to speak at a conference like this. Like I've applied to speak at these shows for probably 2 years, and I started applying for them as just like a long shot of like, this probably won't happen, but I'm going to do it anyway. Cause it's like, how are these opportunities going to happen for you if you don't put yourself out there and put yourself in spaces where they can happen, right? So like whether it's growing your lash business or putting yourself out there on social media, applying to speak at something, there's so many different things of like how you could get outside of your comfort zone, going to a networking event, posting in a local Facebook group, talking on your stories for the first time. Like there's so many different things that is just these little things that once you overcome them and like you move past the fear, you can do so many great things because of it, right? Now, I do feel like fear plays a healthy biological role in our lives in certain situations. Like it's literally there to keep you safe in situations where you should be scared and you need to get out of there and, things like that. But when it comes to growing our business, we are trying to like this role that's being played, the fear and the scared and the limiting beliefs and all that is designed to help keep your body safe, quote unquote, into your comfort zone, whether the comfort zone is a good place for you or not. So for me, I grew up with a lot of chaos and there was some toxicity with certain family members and like dynamics. I grew up in this chaos and that was my comfort zone. So when I started breaking free out of that, was like my body and my mind kept trying to pull me back into it because that's what I know, whether it's good or healthy for me or not. I'm comfortable in the chaos. I know what's going to happen next. It's predictable. It's quote unquote safe. And that's what my body and my mind know. So that's always been my default. That's where I'm most comfortable. So when it came to trying to break free out of that, was like, this is totally new. What if this happens? What if that happens? What's the worst that can happen? Blah, blah. Am I safe? Like, your body is literally trying to keep you safe in these situations when you're trying to get outside of your comfort zone to grow your business or to do something new with your life, right? But like, oh my gosh, if you stay in your comfort zone, you are never going to grow. You're never going to be able to reach your goals or your dreams or create this new life for yourself. You have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to try something new. You have to put yourself out there. And I think that can be so hard sometimes because it's like, well, what if someone judges me? What if no one likes the reel? What if no one signs up for the course? And it's like, okay. And if that happens, you're still going to be safe. Like, you're still going to be okay. And it's kind of almost like having to train your nervous system that, like, it's okay regardless of what happens. Like, I am safe. I am okay. I'm going to make it through this. And it's not going to be the end of the world. And we'll work it out and things will keep moving right along. That was something I had to learn the hard way very early on when I started putting myself out there more than just even just putting myself out there for my lash business, putting myself out there to educate, putting myself out there to speak at things, putting myself out there on a freaking podcast, like, to do these things. Like, it was scary. When I started the online conference, I literally felt like I was going to throw up sending that out because, like, who am I to do something like this, right? But, like, who are you not to do the things that scare you? Because that is going to help you reach those end goals. And for me, I'm like, okay, so in my business, some of my whys, not all of them, but some of them are like, okay, I want to help people. This really deep desire to help people. I want to make a better life for my kids. I want to have time flexibility. I want to have financial freedom. Is like, is that more important than feeling scared and staying small? Because I'm pretty sure it's more important than that. So I should probably have to push myself outside of my comfort zone here and reach for that. I also think about it in the sense of, like, if I was running to go, like, help my kid if something was wrong or I needed to go save my kid or whatever, it's kind of dramatic, but, like, I would run harder and I would push harder, and it wouldn't matter if I was tired, I would be doing it anyway. And I feel like that's kind of like the mindset I've had to adopt when it comes to, like, going for big goals and big dreams and doing the damn thing, because it's kind of like in the sense of, like, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, I feel scared. Yes. Okay, I feel tired. Okay, I feel like sometimes I want to give up. Okay, I feel like this and that. But, like, it doesn't matter because I need to get to these things. Like, I have this sense of urgency to get there because it's so important. It's that important. It doesn't matter how scared I feel. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable I am. It doesn't matter if I feel like I'm going to throw up sending these out. I still need to do it anyway because I have this sense of urgency to get there, to get these things, and to make this thing happen. And I feel like that's where the secret sauce is at, is when you, not that you don't care how you're feeling, obviously, take that into account. But when you get to a point where it's like, okay, yes, I feel scared. Yes, I'm outside my comfort zone. Yes, I feel uncomfortable. Yes, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Or, like, you know, yes, people are probably saying things about me, but I don't care what they think about me anymore. That is so freeing to get to that point. I've heard it said before, like, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. It's none of your business. And I used to think, like, oh, of course of course it's my business. They're talking about me, blah, blah, blah. No, I've now gone to the point the last few years where it's like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's really, truly none of my business. And they can say or think whatever they want. And a lot of times those are projections of their own self-limitations and self-beliefs and what they could think is possible for themselves and their own experiences and perspectives. I won't get on that rant. But it's like, it doesn't matter. And when those things don't matter to you anymore, other people's opinions, like the fear of them, like if they're going to judge you or whatever else, like, you are, I don't know, it feels so freeing. And you can do so much with your life and with your business. And you can grow so much more in that space where you're not scared to do it anymore. And I think this is kind of like an evolution because you'll kind of get outside of your comfort zone, right? And then that new space after a while becomes second nature. It becomes more of your comfort zone, right? And then you're going to kind of run into new situations where it's like, okay, now I'm in a spot where I have to push myself outside of my comfort zone again. So great, wonderful. It's just like this constant like pushing yourself and getting uncomfortable constantly, basically. So like when I was trying to grow my lash business, it's like, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to post in local Facebook groups. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to talk on my stories. I was scared shitless to do that the first time. I like sat on the bathroom floor and was like so nervous to talk on my stories. And then, in putting myself out there to like, okay, now I want to like teach lash courses, right? This is something I want to do. So I'm gonna like put myself out there and go get my license for that. I'm gonna put myself out there and start posting about that. And I'm gonna like position myself as like an authority or an expert, or it's like, who am I to even do that, right? But then it was like, okay, I want to start a podcast and I'm nervous, as that can be uncomfortable and scary thing. You kind of got to work through your limiting beliefs with that. I want to start the online conference. I want to speak at events. When I tell you I've applied for like those premiere events multiple times before and didn't get accepted, but I would never have gotten accepted now had I not put myself out there to begin with, right? And it was the same way. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? You don't get accepted, and then what? Everything's fine. It's not a big deal, right? You put yourself out there on your stories and no one likes it or responds to it. Okay, great, whatever, right? You put yourself out there and someone from high school judges you. What's the big deal? Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think you kind of have to like train your nervous system in a sense of whether it goes the way I want it to or not, regardless of the outcome. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to figure it out and we're going to move on. And in 6 months, a year or two from now, like I'm never going to think about that again. One of the things I thought when I started putting myself out there, even just for my lash business to get lash clients, was like, well, what if someone from high school judges me? Okay, well, guess what? It happened at one point. I had a reel that got like 50 or 60,000 views and it had a couple hate comments on it. And a girl from high school that I went to high school with was liking the hate comments on this reel. And it was like, okay, so it happened. And now what? It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I haven't seen her since probably 2012 or before that. Won't ever see her again. Her opinion doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. I'm still going to grow my business. I'm still going to do great things with my life. And when I clicked on her profile, couldn't see it, but I could see her bio, and it was like negative Nancy, like something about being a biatch. Like, that's not the kind of person I want to be. I don't know. I would never switch places. So why do I care what she thinks, right? And it was like, okay, someone from high school judged me, and okay, great. Now I'm going to keep moving on with my life. It happened. I didn't die. Like, I'm fine. My business is still thriving. It's just like, what's the worst that could happen in these situations? So we took our kids to this family fun center and we went on this ropes course over the weekend. And that's kind of what I was telling myself up there too, because I was trying to force myself to go on ones that scared me, like put myself really outside of my comfort zone. And logistically, I didn't really get to do that very much because I didn't have the right shoes on and I was in a full body sweat and I was like sliding around in my shoes and my shoes were going to break because I was in these flimsy sandals. But anyway, the point of this is like, okay, I got up there. It's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, you slip off and your harness catches you. What's the worst that could happen? It was interesting to me though, because I was watching the attendant who was up there who was working. And that was my first time on that ropes course. So I was nervous. I wasn't comfortable with it. It wasn't second nature to me. But for this person, they weren't even thinking twice. They were not paying attention to where they were walking. They weren't being unsafe about it. But my point was that they were very comfortable up there. And you could tell, oh, you've done this a time or two. And it was second nature for them. And they weren't thinking twice about it. And just walking everywhere, doing the hard ones, doing the ones that I would have considered so scary I would never even think about doing. And they're doing it without a second thought. But they would have never gotten to that point had they not put themselves out there and tried it to begin with. And then it became second nature for them. So all of this to say, you can get to the point where it is second nature for you, and you can get to the point where it's not outside of your comfort zone anymore. But you can't get there until you get past the fear and you do it anyway. And I know that's hard, and I know it feels scary. But like, if you have big goals and big dreams that you are going for right now, you have to put yourself out there to get there. One way or another, it doesn't matter what your goals are, whether you're trying to get more lash clients, whether you want to get into education, whether you want to speak at events, whether you want to start a podcast, whether you want to become an educator, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You're going to have to put yourself out there in a new way. When I first started putting myself out there beyond lashes, when I decided I wanted to start educating and doing more than that, and kind of like evolving my business and pivoting my business, I was like, well, who am I to put myself out there like that? What if what would these people think of me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not as big of a name as them. I don't have as many followers as them, all these things. But I just had this thought this one time where it's like, well, these people that I look up to, they had to put themselves out there at one point or another. And it's not like they woke up overnight with a huge following and a lot of people who loved them and trusted them and bought things from them. And they didn't become this educator who's well known and well loved overnight. It's not like everyone in the industry just decided to appoint them to that. They had to wake up one day and decide that they wanted to do something like that and work towards it and start positioning themselves that way and start creating content for that and creating content for other lash artists and all these things. Like, they woke up one day and decided to do that. And I realized they did that. I can do that too. I can wake up today and decide that I want to do something like that. Maybe not the exact same. Maybe it's in my own way, it should be in your own way. But I have to wake up and decide to do that and start positioning myself in that way. So that was a huge wake-up call for me of like, I'm never going to get there unless I put myself out there and do the damn thing. So that's my message to you today. You can do it, and you have to get past the fear and put yourself out there and get outside of your comfort zone and have that urgency to make it happen, so that even though you're feeling nervous, you're feeling scared to put yourself outside your comfort zone, you're feeling all those things, you're scared of what do people think, it's okay, like, because I have this urgency to get to where I want to be, right? To get to these things. And so that's the message I want to leave with you today. Don't let fear be taking the driver's seat in your life or in your business when it comes to growing and getting outside of your comfort zone and reaching your goals and reaching for your dreams. So I love you. I hope you have a great week. Make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you listen to podcasts at, so that you can get notified every Tuesday when our episodes go live. And if you have loved today's episode, or you love the show, you love listening, I would love if you could go leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts at, so we can help reach other lash artists and beauty business owners just like you. So I love you. Have a great week, and I will talk to you again next week.